tutorial will show you how to create script rules that allow you to hold orders to review based on a multitude of different factors, or you can also still completely reject the order as the previous script rules were set up to do as well. You can set these rules up globally depending on the type of rule that you're creating, which would allow you to add them to multiple scripts, or individually via the script as well. There are reports that you can run in order to see which orders were held for customized reasons. We're going to go through setting up a global script rule and then a couple of individual rules through the script as well. This way we can view exactly how this will look when creating manual orders. Let's go ahead and navigate over to Company Data, Advertising, Global Script Rules. Then we're going to click on the Add New button in the upper right-hand corner to launch the script rule editor. Keep in mind that the only rules that you can create globally are the ones that are not specific to an individual script setup, such as product offers, as those can be added and removed as desired to different scripts. One of the new rule conditions that you can set up globally is to ensure that the customer's billing and shipping addresses match for fraud protection. So we're going to go ahead and set up one of those here as an example. You'll set up the rule name and error memo fields the same way that you had previously, so that if entering a manual order or managing exceptions via the import, the user has a clear understanding of why the order is being rejected or held for review. The system defaults the checkbox to apply the rule to manually entered orders, so you can unselect that box if it should only apply to imports or vice versa. Now, next to those selections is a new drop-down menu that allows you to determine the result if the rule is broken. This is to either reject the order or to go ahead and hold the order for review. Upon selecting Hold for Review, you'll see another drop-down menu open up, and this will display the defaulted reason codes that are associated to this task in OrderLogix, which can also be customized on the Company Data desktop in the Company section. This allows you to define the reason that this particular rule should hold that order, and thus also will be displayed in the customer service activity report in order to easily find the orders that are being held. We're going to go ahead and select the reason of fraud for this particular rule. Well, that's exactly what they would want to see in reporting. With this particular billing and shipping address match, it tends to be something that payment gateways prefer, as fraudulent orders can be charged on one card to an address and then shipped to a completely different one. So now we're going to go ahead and click on the Add button under the If tab, and we're going to select the unconditional option because we want to enforce this whenever the order is simply being created. We'll save that, followed by clicking on the Then tab, where we're going to go ahead and select the condition of the billing shipping address match from the drop-down menu. That then opens up a list of checkboxes where you can determine if you want to match all fields in the address or just some. We will go ahead and match all and save. And the last tab that we see in this screen is the Scripts tab. This allows us to apply this rule to whichever scripts it should be applicable in one step. Once you have applied the rule to the desired script, you can then save the global rule, which will also be eligible to be added to scripts later on down the road as well, should new ones be created after you've already set the rule up. So let's go to the script that we just added this particular global rule to. We're going to go over to Company Data, Advertising once again, and Maintain Scripts. So we're going to click into the Edit pencil icon here, and then click on the Rules tab. We can clearly see the global rule that we just set up and applied to this script. And if there were another global rule that we wanted to add, we would simply select it from the drop-down menu here, and then click the Add button. You can also clearly tell which are global rules, as you can see the minus sign located beside them in order to remove them from the script if desired, which does keep them intact for other scripts during that process. Let's go ahead and click the Add New Rule button here to launch the script rule editor via the script, and then go through the same steps in the upper half of this particular setup as we just did in the previous screen. This time though, we'll go ahead and set up a rule that prevents a customer from ordering the same product offer more than once, which is commonly referred to as householding. And with this particular rule, we will reject this one entirely. Okay, here in the if condition, it will be if the test product offer is selected, then we'll require that that test offer has not been purchased before. What this means is that when we enter a test order a little bit later, if we select the product offer on the first pass through and then enter another order for the same customer, it will reject that second order from going through if we select the same offer. So we'll save this rule and then enter 1/3 and final rule that will hold the order for review if the order total is more than the specified value. So we're going to go ahead and select unconditional again in the if tab here. And then within the then tab, we're going to go ahead and select that the order total cannot exceed or order total under. So I'm going to go ahead and save this rule as well. And once we have all of this set up, we're going to want to test this out. We always recommend to do this in training before setting up these elaborate rules in production so that you can ensure your setup is accurate before going live with them. I'm going to save all of those changes. And let's go ahead and enter an order for this particular script. The goal here is to actually fail the validation of these rules in order to view the messages that are received when doing so. So I'm just going to go ahead and enter some general test data into these basic order fields, and then once I copy the address to shipping, I'm going to change the street name. So let's go ahead and change the shipping address. So let's go ahead and add that test product offer. And we're going to change the quantity to a high number in order to exceed that $1,000 order total. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this order up now. And what we're going to see is the window that's a little bit different from the previous script rule validation. It's telling us the reasons that this particular order will be held for review, but is still allowing the order to be submitted. If we don't accept the rule validation failure, then we can go back to the order and make changes, or we can accept the message and then submit the order. So once the order's been submitted, it goes into a pending review status. Let's go ahead and grab the order ID here and do a lookup. And you can see the status here of the order in pending review. So if we navigate over to the Customer Details Center, then if we scroll down to the activities, you'll see that there were 2 activities created for this customer's record with the reason codes that we selected during the setup of those rules. In order to release the order, you will mark each activity as complete once that review process has taken place. If the order doesn't pass the review, then it can be canceled as well by releasing it the same way via the CS event and then clicking into the order details to click the cancel button. Let's go ahead and modify the first activity in the list by clicking on the edit pencil. Once we do so, we can go ahead and click on that complete checkbox and then save. Now with this particular order, we had 2 activities that are holding it. So we just marked one as complete, but in order to actually release the order, both have to pass that review process. In order to see that particular order released, prepayment processing will have to be run as well. And then you'll see that the status of the item on the order is going to move into pay ready status. So the final test that we're going to do is to enter another order for the same customer and pre-populate all of the information on the screen. And then we're going to go ahead and select that same offer that we created for the householding rule. You'll see when we attempt to wrap the order up, we get a similar rule validation screen. However, this is not telling us to accept or close. It's actually rejecting the order entirely. So it's simply stating that we cannot select the offer chosen. Thank you for watching the tutorial on the advanced script rule feature, and please stay tuned for more tutorials to come.